It had been a few years since I discovered my strange ability to transform into a monster whenever someone laid a finger on the people I loved. It was almost like a curse that had been bestowed upon me, but I had learned to live with it. However, there was always a fear of the unknown, the fear of losing control and hurting the people I loved. My family and friends knew about my unique condition, and they tried their best to avoid situations that could trigger my transformation. But it wasn't easy, and there were times when I couldn't control myself. I had lost many friends in the past, people who I thought were close to me but couldn't handle my monster side. It wasn't until I met my wife, Sophia, that I started to believe that there was hope for me. She was the only person who had ever accepted me for who I was, including my monster side. Sophia was a kind, understanding, and empathetic person, and her love for me was unwavering. However, there was one person who didn't seem to care about my condition, and that was my wife's ex-boyfriend, Luke. I had met Luke a few times, and he always gave me an uneasy feeling. He was arrogant, disrespectful, and had a sense of entitlement. But Sophia had assured me that Luke was in her past, and I had nothing to worry about. One day, Sophia and I were out for a walk when we bumped into Luke. He was alone, and as soon as he saw us, he made a beeline for us. I could feel the tension building inside me, and I tried my best to remain calm. But then, without any warning, Luke reached out and grabbed Sophia's arm. That was it. My transformation had begun. I could feel the rage building up inside me, and soon, I was unrecognizable. My skin had turned into a deep shade of red, and my eyes had turned black. I was no longer human, I was a monster. Luke was terrified, and he let go of Sophia's arm. But it was too late. I lunged at him with all my might and grabbed him by the throat. I wanted to hurt him, to make him pay for touching Sophia. Sophia was screaming, begging me to stop, but I couldn't hear her. All I could hear was the sound of my own breathing and the beating of my heart. I had lost control. But then, I felt a soft touch on my arm, and it was Sophia. She was holding on to me, trying to calm me down. It was as if her touch had somehow broken through to me, and I slowly started to come back to reality. I released Luke, and he fell to the ground, gasping for air. I looked at Sophia, and she was crying. She was scared, but she was also trying to console me. We walked back home in silence, and I was afraid to look at Sophia. I had almost hurt her, and I couldn't bear to see the disappointment in her eyes. But when we got home, she held me tightly and told me that it was okay. She said that she knew I loved her, and that's why I had transformed. It was a turning point for me. I realized that I had to learn to control my transformation and not let it control me. I had to trust Sophia and the people who loved me, and they would help me through my struggles. It wasn't easy, but with Sophia's love and support, I slowly learned to control my monster side. I still had moments of weakness, but I knew that Sophia would be there for me, always. And as for Luke, he never bothered us again. He had seen the monster I could be, and he knew that he couldn't mess with me or Sophia again. As time passed, I started to gain more confidence in myself. I no longer felt like a freak or a burden. I was able to live a relatively normal life, and even started to make new friends. Sophia had helped me to come out of my shell and to embrace my unique abilities. But then, one day, Sophia got sick. At first, it seemed like a minor illness, but it quickly became more serious. The doctors weren't sure what was wrong, and they couldn't seem to find a cure. As Sophia's condition worsened, I felt myself losing control. My monster side was coming out again, and I didn't know how to stop it. I was afraid that I was going to hurt Sophia, and I couldn't bear the thought of losing her. But then, something strange happened. As I sat by Sophia's bedside, holding her hand, I could feel my monster side fading away. It was as if Sophia's love was stronger than my monster side. Her touch, her presence, and her love had the power to calm me down and keep me in control. I realized then that my love for Sophia was greater than my fear of losing control. It was a turning point for me, and I made a promise to myself that I would do everything in my power to protect her and keep her safe. Sophia eventually recovered from her illness, and we were able to move on with our lives. But the experience had taught me a valuable lesson. My unique ability was both a curse and a blessing, and it was up to me to choose how to use it. I learned to embrace my abilities and to use them for good. I became a protector, a guardian, and a hero to those who needed me. I no longer felt like a freak or a burden, but rather like a powerful force for good in the world. And through it all, Sophia was always by my side. She was my rock, my support, and my inspiration. Her love had transformed me in more ways than one, and I knew that I could face anything as long as she was with me. In the end, I realized that my monster side was a part of me, but it didn't define me. It was my love for Sophia that defined me, and that was something that no one could ever take away. As the story of my journey comes to an end, I hope that my experiences have shown you that even the most unique abilities can be turned into something powerful and positive. My love for Sophia gave me the strength to overcome my fears and embrace my true self, and it is that love that I carry with me every day. Thank you for joining me on this journey, and I hope that my story has inspired you to embrace your own unique abilities and to use them for good. Remember that love has the power to conquer even the darkest parts of ourselves, and that together, we can make a positive impact in the world. So go out there and spread love, and don't be afraid to embrace the parts of yourself that make you unique. You never know what kind of hero you might become. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more inspiring content.